Welcome to the Detroit Cast. Mike and Jay. Shalom, Biggie. Hello, Jay.
Gentlemen.
I imagine you're in a shit mood today, Jay.
No, I'm fine.
You are?
It's a bummer. It's a bummer, but whatever. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, I'm not going to let it, affect my life.
No, you're not
I'm
going to
not
be
on the team.
You're not going to be at center court, palms in your hands, sobbing.
They flat out got beat, too. Of course, we're talking about the Spartans.
Spartans, Texas Tech.
Texas Tech taking them out.
Yeah. Texas Tech had best defense I think they projected since 2002. I was reading some of these advanced pro stats, and they were saying giving up 84 points per 100 possessions.
Wow, yeah.
So you figure a possession has at least 2 or 3 points.
They're unbelievable.
Yeah, and so Virginia right behind them. So as far as the defense goes, so probably a big defensive game tomorrow night, Monday night. But yeah, kind of a bummer to watch. I mean, it was a decent game.
It was. I give Spartans credit for coming back from that 13 down. I almost turned it off at that point.
Really?
Yeah, just given the pace, it's like, okay, no one's coming. Everybody scored 23-21 first half.
First half, yeah.
So for one of those teams to go up by 13, come on,
Yeah.
not coming back from that. But they did. And then they were down by 1, and then immediately went down again by 7 or something.
Yeah,
it's just shots weren't dropping the ones they needed, from Kenny Goins.
God,
and
some of those,
Tillman and Goins just didn't play the games they had to play to beat that team.
I'm trying to think what it was. It was something ridiculous because of that halftime score. It was both teams combined for 9 of 42 or something.
Yeah. There was
it's
2 points
crazy,
scored
man.
in 7.5 minutes or something.
Just nuts.
I'm sure the rest of the
don't see
country
that usually.
Well, as a Spartan fan, you have over the years you've seen games like that, but
Yeah.
I'm sure people around the country are going, "This is dog nut. What am I even watching?"
Yeah, that's for sure. I mean, people that hate Big Ten style football even will be like, "Oh my god."
It was like the Pistons in 04, man. I love the defensive
defense.
battle and holding teams to under 69 points, but if you're on the national scale, people hated it.
Yeah, no, the Spartans had a famous run against the Badgers, and it's why to this day I hate the Badger. I hate the Badger more than any other Big Ten team. But
You
they
can't
had
forgive
this
the
run.
Badger?
I have not forgiven the Badger. I hate them. And it was due in part to the series of games where they were 42-41 and 46-44. It was just so brutal to watch. Back and forth. Nobody could make a basket.
15-49 is what it was at the half. 15-49 combined for the both teams.
Oh God.
Yeah. But yeah.
That Mooney kid went off. I mean, what are you gonna do?
What is he, 5 of 6 to start the second half or something? 4 or 5, 5 of 6. Yeah, it's too bad. I mean, it would have been nice to be in there and get it done, but good run. It's always fun when your team can get there.
It's good, and unlike other years with the Spartans, where you feel like, damn, they didn't meet their potential. And a lot of people will disagree with me on this. They'll look at the Final Four and go, dude, that was theirs to win.
Yeah.
But my thing is, I was surprised they got there. They were banged up. They needed a couple more scores, and those guys were on the bench banged up, unfortunately, unable to play. Langford in particular. But I felt like, they exceeded expectations to a large degree, and I don't feel like they wasted a bunch of talent, like in the past where they had Miles Bridges, Jaren Jackson, 2 NBA lottery picks, and you're going, you went out in the second round? What the fuck,
How is that possible? Yeah. No, it's. I was talking to Ogden over the weekend, and Sparty Libre, he's at everything, and he was debating whether or not to fly out last minute. He's like, "Do I want to spend?"
Didn't go.
No, he was
shocked.
Well, he had shit going on. He would have had to buy a last minute plane ticket. It would cost him $2,000 just to fly to that game.
Knowing him though, I almost feel like he would have had the ticket at the beginning of the
no,
the
he had
tournament,
tickets. He had someone had free tickets for him.
Okay.
So he could have done that, but it was literally he had to fly out that night, and then the next day would be the game. And he's like, honestly, next year's going to be a better team. He's like, next year they should be even further along. So he was kind of eyeballing that, but I think he would have, had they won last night, he would have flown and gone to it. But
dude, that's what sports to me, because I'm so emotional about sports. I look at those, I've had moments like that where I missed a class at OCC or I don't know, something to go to a big game. And in my mind, it's if they win, I don't give a fuck. I'm just like, hell yeah, I was there. If they lose, I'm like, oh shit. I spent money I probably shouldn't have spent.
Yeah.
I skipped something I shouldn't have skipped. And they didn't win. So that gets rough, man.
Well, it's a weird thing because it's all the games go on this weekend and then Monday. And so if you're there, there's 4 teams, but only 2 of them are going to go into that final game. So it's like
2 teams are pissed.
Well, once that game's over, it's like those 2 teams that had tickets for the final 2 are like,
dude.
fuck this.
Mass exodus.
Yeah, it's like all of a sudden half the seats open
Anybody
up.
need tickets?
My brother went to. My brother is a huge. I mean, he went to state, and he's a huge sports fan. So he's like gone to several of Final Fours, and so he went though when they didn't make those title games, and as shitty as it became,
which
like,
are most of the Final
Right,
Fours, which
right.
we discussed last week.
Exactly.
Izzo does not have that great a record in Final Fours.
Yeah,
man.
I know. He's
right.
won 1.
And so what he did is what Mike's
he's won 1, got to the championship, lost another, and then
Yeah.
the rest he's lost in the first
Yeah.
that first semifinal game.
Yeah.
But he's paid for his trips before, like paid for his full-on trips before
Yeah.
by walking out and then just going
Selling the ticket.
selling that ticket for blank to Monday, like Mike's saying. Because then,
Yeah.
so all of a sudden, now all these people want to see their team in the championship.
See, are those tickets worth more, though? Can you get a lot for those? Because I would think there'd be an abundance immediately of so many tickets available that it's like, you want to charge me, you want to rate me for a ticket, fuck you, I'll just go to the next guy down the street here who's going to have a bunch as
But
well.
you're talking about people like the Ogdens who, like, if they're like, fuck, I'm on the fence, and then they win, you're like, fuck it, I'm going, and then I mean, he's lucky that he had a ticket, but most people don't, and they're
Yeah.
like, fuck it, I'm going, $500 for a ticket, $800, whatever the ticket is, I'm in.
No, to
Yeah.
Mike's point, though, I understand what you're saying. There's just this rush of tickets, but at some point the market establishes itself, right?
Well, yeah, you would think, but it's unlike a Super Bowl or a championship game where like you bought tickets and everybody wants to go, and the only reason you give up your tickets is something happens, that's
Yeah, but now you
against
have Virginia fans and Texas Tech fans who want to get there for that.
Yeah,
So-
that's true.
And then the market establishes itself. I understand, like, right away, you're not going to get, like, give me $8,000.
Right.
Guy's going to go, no, man, I'll go to the next Spartan fan.
Yeah.
Well, like, for example, like, I went to the 2009 or 10, whenever it was Ford Field, whenever Michigan State got
2010, I think.
Okay, I think so too. I went to that
Fucking
game and
killed in that final.
I know it was a weird feeling for me because I don't cheer for State, but I'm at the championship game, so like fuck it, I'll cheer for State. And then like 5 minutes, and I'm just like,
Just
I guess I'll
brutalized.
just enjoy that I'm at the national championship game.
Yeah,
But my dad and my brother went to the game, the awesome game before, dude, where they were like Ford Field was fucking rocking and shit. Michigan State won, and my dad and my brother just right away turned around to Villanova fans, I think it was, or something, and just like, can we get 2 tickets for me and my sister to go?
Yeah.
And that's how it is. The minute that game ends, the team that, people are right there just, okay, what do you want for him? What do you want for him?
Yeah.
I know you don't want to be here on Monday. What
I'm
do you
really
want?
sorry for your loss. I really am. Thoughts and prayers and all that shit.
Papas, what do you want
What do you want
for
for him? How much? Got cash in your pocket, burning a
People
hole.
do. That's what people
Oh,
do.
yeah,
They bring
I'm
the
sure
cash
they
in,
do.
and yeah, for sure.
I'm sure they do.
But in bigger news, dude, how about the Auburn loss?
Yeah.
My God.
Yeah, to Virginia, the way that thing ended.
Brutal.
Yeah. The what do they call the foul at the end? See, I was at a party and not paying
It
as
was
much
the
attention.
double
but-
dribble, man.
Yeah, the double dribble.
The
A lot of
foul
people-
was a foul.
It was, right? Why were people
defy
bitching
anyone.
about that? It was like, dude,
it was a foul.
Yeah.
It's a simple explanation. The guy jumped into him.
Yeah.
And then that guy.
I know.
guy's
I was
name
trying
is
to look
Guy,
for his.
right?
I was trying to look for his first name. It's
Guy
just
goes to the line with 1.5 left and
yeah.
drains all three.
All three.
No, 0.6 left. Sorry.
Yeah,
so it's the end of the.
he has to make at least 2 of these.
He
Has
drains
to.
all 3 to fucking
Yeah.
win it, man.
What's the hardest one to hit of the 3? The first
Probably the
or the
first.
third?
Yeah,
Well,
probably.
Because
know-
you can miss one. You can miss
Dude,
the first.
The third is the easiest.
Yeah.
To
Yeah,
make.
once you've tied it.
Yeah. Because
So
then it's just gravy. It's like, all right, at least we're going to overtime. The first
that
one.
first one, it's like douche. Just,
And if you miss the second, you're like, well, at least I got a third to
yeah,
tie
I
it
get
up.
a do-over.
You're right,
But
that
that
first.
one, man, oh boy, yeah. But
Dude,
yeah,
I know
the
these-
double dribble.
Oh, go.
The refs or the spokesperson for the United States Referee Association, the college basketball,
acknowledged the
whatever.
error?
No, he won't talk
What?
about it. They said he wouldn't say anything. Yeah, that he wouldn't give comment.
I didn't think it was even disputed. It was a fucking double dribble. There's no question about it. It's
Do
not
you have
even
video of it? Can you find it really quick? The double dribble. Just put in Final Four double dribble, Auburn, Virginia game. NCAA National Coordinator of Officials, J.D. Collins, declined comment on the potential double dribble. Well, if you won't comment on it, who does?
Yeah.
You're the guy,
Yeah.
the coordinator of officials,
Yeah.
Mr. J.D. Collins. You should go, oh, yeah, the guys blew it. It happens. I mean, they're human.
No, and if that's going to follow, if that's the model that's going to follow my suggestion that we have no replay, that we just let refs call it, then you have to discipline that ref.
Yeah.
You know, these refs have to learn, like, they've got to perform or they're
Yeah.
out of that situation.
Sure.
They'll never be there again.
Yeah,
so
I mean, if
JD
you're known
needs to
as-
step up and list out the reasons why it was an error and tell us right up front who the guy was.
James Breeding.
Goddamn
James Breeding.
He'll never be on the court again. Don't worry.
I mean, it's
He's
like
ruined.
If you're a running back and you are amazing, but you can't help but fumble every third time you touch the ball, or in pressure situations, you get cut. You don't stay on the team. It should be no different for the refs.
Yeah.
All right, let's watch it because I wasn't paying much attention. I'll be honest with you.
It's dribbling, goes behind his back.
Oh, hits his leg.
But so what? So here's where he picks it up. Everybody's about, it hit his foot. It doesn't matter. He picks it up with both hands and then dribbles again. Picks it up, boom, it's dribbles done. And I have no proof of this because I was watching this alone. I'm sitting in my living room, I'm like, how is that fair?
Yeah.
And then they go through the whole thing. Then like 5 minutes later, looking back, that was a double dribble. I'm like, yeah, man.
But don't they regularly in basketball, if a guy hits a three, they can go back 2 minutes later?
Yeah, but this is one of those
back.
judgment calls, I guess, where it's
not
unreviewable.
Really a judgment call, though. I mean,
Seriously.
that's a double dribble by any man. I mean, that's as egregious as Weber's. You know, double dribble back in was North Carolina all those years ago, 90.
Well, that was a travel, right? Well,
or travel. Yep.
It was both.
Both, sure.
And then a timeout that didn't exist.
Exactly.
It's a brutal play by Chris Webber.
He didn't make it into the Hall this weekend either. They had the Pro Basketball Hall of Fame. Vlade Divac makes it in.
Everybody makes it in the Pro Basketball Hall of Fame. It's
not Ben Wallace, which is bullshit. People were
they
outraged.
They will. If they're any good, they'll be in because baseball is so exclusive. It's really obviously hard to get in that, but basketball is so liberal in who they let in.
Yeah.
I'm sure Chris Webber and Ben Wallace will get in.
Ben Wallace should not be in the Hall of Fame.
Ben Wallace shouldn't be?
No,
dude, it was trending, number one trending thing yesterday.
Look
people
at some
were like,
people who have, and you compare it. It's
dude, I mean, he dominated over Shaq in those years. He was a 4-time All-Pro, Defensive Player of the Year twice, and I don't
even think she'd be retired as a Piston, let alone a Hall of Famer.
No, but if you look at compare him to who's in.
If this was baseball,
way.
No.
Okay.
But their standard is so low.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Isn't Vinny's jersey in the rafters?
Yes.
You don't think Ben Wallace deserves it? If you put Vinny in.
But I don't think Vinny should be in.
Anybody that's had a decent season
I think it should be
go up.
Joe, Isaiah, and then maybe Bing and some of those ones that I know I never saw. But
Bing.
Yeah.
Would you put Rodman up there at some point?
I'd put him.
Not for his work with the Pistons.
Yeah, overall you would.
That's the problem. You're right.
Yeah, he's a Hall of Famer, but
sure. Oh yeah, that sucks, man. I was at a
So Auburn though, dude, they're a program who is not a perennial favorite to get first time to the Final Four. Do they have a strong team? Yeah, but are they going to be back there next year? This could have been their fucking
I know,
chance.
they're 1 year.
Auburn v. Texas Tech.
Who's their big player, from Auburn historically? Is
Chuck
Barkley? Okay, so he's got to be thrilled. But Texas Tech's never been to a final. Neither of these programs have won one. So for the first time, one of these programs.
Well, like
I
said last week, wouldn't that be something though? Virginia losing to the 16th seed, first one to do that
know.
last year, and then if they turn around and win the whole thing, that'd be pretty wild.
Yeah, it would.
Hey, speaking of sports, gentlemen,
can't
make it to Augusta? Golf's first major is on wall-to-wall TVs from every angle. Catch all the Masters action at Twin Peaks. Welcome to your new local spot for sports and scenic views. Twin Peaks eats, drinks, scenic views.
Easy, so you're getting fired up. Isn't today your big day?
Hell yeah, it is.
You got a WrestleMania today?
For sure. I will say this, man. We don't have to talk about it too much, but I don't watch NASCAR anymore, and the Lions are basically, when Jay always talks about the Lions, the idea, they don't even feel like they're a part of the NFL. I don't even comprehend that
they're
Lions...
not even, qualified to be in the Super Bowl.
Right, no, it's a weird feeling, isn't it? It's we've kind of got this, this A-tier league, and then there's, an A-minus, B-level team.
And the Super Bowl happens, and it's technically they could be in it. So my point of saying that is wrestling is the WrestleMania is my kind of Super Bowl of the year. I don't watch as much as most people do. I haven't even watched a Raw in 2 months. But WrestleMania is scripted, so you know that they make
there's that.
So it's set up to the point that they can make the matches they want to have happen, and so it's cool. And I'm fucking jacked as fuck.
Well, it's kind of cool too. It's kind of cool too that here's a sport or sports entertainment that name another sport where you can just be like, oh yeah, we're adding chicks to the mix, and it's awesome. He's looking more forward to a chick wrestling match tonight.
Well, it's been only in the last 2 years, maybe a little more. I mean, through the 90s, it was always just, chick matches were just the get a beer match, or they were just divas, and they would just bra and panty matches and shit, but now they're fucking wrestling, man. Like, legit, they're having
really.
No
so what?
bars.
Would they just not? They weren't athletic enough to pull it off. I mean, that's a bold statement. They were the get a beer match during the thing.
100%. 100%. That's what it was.
I mean, that's like saying, Keith Richards is singing the next Rolling Stones song. That's the beer song.
The diva matches were get a beer, go to get a bathroom thing. I don't know if I'm not gonna say that WWE purposely was like pushing them down, but for whatever reason, a few years ago, they started making the move to and now it's not a Divas Championship anymore. It's a Women's Championship, and it's treated. I mean, they've had Hell in a Cell matches. They've done all the shit the guys have done now. So
what a bummer that would be if you're a chick and it's like, it's a big match, and you get in the ring and they're like, ding, 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 and you look up and you just see the aisles filling with people as they're just streaming out to the concourse. You're like, oh man, we can't catch a break. This stinks,
dude. Like you say, every band knows that feeling. Duff McKagan gets up there to sing his punk song, and you see everybody head for
all right.
You know what's happening to me, Jay? Is like how you talk about tennis with women's tennis like being better because guys are just. Boom, power serve,
it's more realistic.
Yeah, it's just the women. Yeah, the guys are just. Some of them are just these beefy fucking things, and but the women are just. They're a little more petite, so they're a little more athletic, and in my opinion, they're able to do shit.
Is that a common belief though in wrestling? Do wrestling fans like hardcore ones? Do they respect the women wrestlers, or are you kind of a weird?
No, I'm telling you, the reason that in tonight's WrestleMania, the women are having the main event, which has never happened in WrestleMania. The main event is a triple threat.
So it's WWE just promoting them more, and they're years into this, and so people are accepting it as the norm.
Absolutely,
but the NBA's been promoting the shit out of the WNBA for years.
Yeah, but
these women have
if they're making them like the main storylines and stuff, and they perform just like the men do. Like E said, they can move just as well.
I don't. You know what? When you say that, is it them promoting it? I mean, yeah, I guess so.
Well, they've got to deliver. If they can't deliver, if it's subpar wrestling, wrestling fans will be like, "Fuck this."
Yes, they have to still deliver.
See through it.
And there was, I'm not. Again, we don't have to get too nerdy, but I just remember very specifically there was a Falls Count Anywhere match about 2 years ago on Raw with two women.
A Falls Count Anywhere.
Those
match?
are the best, by the way. But in my opinion,
briefly explain as the crow flies.
As the crow flies.
Okay, so normal falls have to happen in the ring. But a Falls Count Anywhere, they could happen on the concession stands.
Falls Count.
Falls
Count Anywhere. I thought he was saying Falls Count Anywhere or something
Falls Count Anywhere. So I was watching it, briefly, I was watching these women on Raw like 2 years ago, or maybe 2.5, and all of a sudden I was like, holy fuck, man, this is fucking good. And so now they've really stepped it up.
So is Ronda Rousey in there now?
Oh yeah, she's in the main event tonight. It's a triple threat match, essentially.
Is she a good girl or a bad girl?
She is
It's hard to say, man.
You know what? I just haven't watched Raw in like 2 months, so I don't know if she's a heel or a babyface, but I know I'm not pulling for her. I'm pulling for Charlotte Flair, so...
Oh, there you go. Is that Rick's daughter?
Yeah, it is.
Oh, my God.
Woo!
More importantly, though, E, you gave away as people could bid on...
Yeah.
Was it a drawing, or did they...
A raffle.
A raffle that you could go to the Fady Manor if you won for his South Oakland Shelter charity drive that we were doing with him in the tent. And so one lucky fan...
A few.
A few were able to win, and so they're going to the Manor to hang out with
tonight
to hang out with Big E, Mike and Fran Fady. I believe Tony is your sister and her sweet cans and her fiance going to be there?
I think they're in Mexico or something right now. They're somewhere. They're somewhere out of the country. At least they were this weekend. Based on her Snapchat did not look like her apartment complex or whatever.
Right on. So what are we serving tonight at the Manor? Is your mom cooking something?
No,
I believe it was billed as Fran Fady was going to cook dinner or something.
Oh shit! You know what? Nah. You know what, man? I mean, it's carry out, dude. I mean, dude, we're getting freaking pizza and like.
Dude, I thought that was half the prize was that Fran Fady was going to cook a dinner.
Yeah, like scallop potatoes and such.
I think people would. No offense to my mom, but in a setting like this, I think people would rather have a Super Bowl style.
I don't know. I mean, I'd want to live the full
pot roast and scallop potatoes.
No,
some green beans.
No.
Don't poo-poo this. I'd want the full Manor experience, like what it's like to do dinner at the dinner table with the Fadys.
That was never going to happen.
Like a cup of milk and everything.
Yeah.
I hate fucking milk. No, she's cooking, making her own this bean dip she makes, and I mean we're getting carry out. And I'll say this: I spent hours this weekend cleaning the basement, fucking hours.
Oh, I was wondering, you were talking about that. I was like, what'd you do this weekend? And you're like, help my dad with the yard, and then I cleaned. Like I'm like, why the fuck would you clean? I didn't put 2 and 2 together.
Yeah, well, it's
Steam clean the couch, hopefully.
Oh my god, dude! It's like because it's not like, dude, if Chubbs and Ty are coming over, I can kind of.
They can sit in your cum. It doesn't matter.
It doesn't fucking matter, dude. I was like the bathroom in the basement. I spent like an hour and a half on that thing just because they're listeners, so I can't have some listener come in and be like, oh, here's a shower. Look at this yellow stain on the shower and
taking
shit.
pictures.
Yeah.
Fucking.
They're gonna be taking pictures and sending them to us. I hope.
I know they. I'm sure they will. But I did as good a job.
So
as I
with all the plates that just have like 2-month-old food dried onto it, did you just shove those under the bed? Is that the move?
I'm actually pretty good about getting those. Well, actually, what I usually do is I get lazy and I'll eat in the basement, and then I don't want to. I just literally just don't want to walk up the stairs. And
Sure. Who does?
Put it in the sink. So I'll put it in the basement refrigerator, and then like the next morning I'll take it up. But I don't leave them in there that long. No, like only overnight. But
just preserves it.
Yeah,
I know.
There's some brave listeners going over there tonight, man. I got to be honest.
It should be fun. I think they'll like it. I mean, I did it up good and shit. Like
So they're
that.
real wrestling fans, and
Yeah, it looks like I got lucky, but I didn't do it on purpose. I picked names, and I think they'll have fun even if they don't like wrestling, man. I got the ping pong table set up so we can play some ping pong if we want.
I'd want to sit around the table and just tell old family fady stories, get some good Nana stories going. I hope you got some good Nana stories worked up for them and all that.
I know people are
Can
usually...
they peek into Nana's bedroom?
yeah.
Is it all
I
preserved
mean,
the
the
way
crime,
it was?
crime
it's
scene
not.
tape is down in it.
The room that she slept in is not preserved like it was. I can show them where it was.
Is there a shower seat or anything that they can see?
Yeah, anything left over, an errant, walker with tennis balls on it.
Not really. But I will say, people tend to be,
Is the wheelchair still there?
The dining room couch?
The dining room couch, of course, is
Can you
there.
guys field trip out to the hotel where you used to bathe there? Anything like that?
No, I don't know, man.
The coin wash?
The coin wash, yeah.
That never,
Hose her down.
There was never a coin wash. Well, whatever.
Poetic license.
Well,
Yeah.
I'll say this, like, when it comes to listeners, like, as Mike always talks about his story with a fat dude in the sweatpants that would email him left and right, and then all of a sudden he shows up, he's like, fat guy in sweatpants. This guy's sending terrible, terrible emails to Mike. So, like, people say so much shit
You
online.
explained that so well.
Well, when you were at Riff and you had this guy emailing you.
Well, yeah, people would email and be like, "You fat fuck, you fat blah 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 blah." It never failed. You'd end up meeting that guy at a bar, be like, "Hey,
Lo
I'm
and
Bill,
behold,
Bill Johnson, man.
He's a fat fuck.
I email you guys all the time. He's in sweatpants with mustard stains on him. He's 4 bills. You're like, really? You're the guy I was worried about the last year.
Yeah, so part of me is a little nervous still, though, because my mom and dad are still there, and the listeners are still the listeners, so they can say, I mean, nothing's stopping them from just blurting shit out.
Yeah,
so,
especially if they join forces.
Oh,
That's
I know.
a force to be reckoned with. 5 to
yeah.
7 people, did you say?
I know.
Yeah,
yes.
boy,
Yeah.
they could
This is-
overrun the family, the Fady
Good
household.
point. They're allowed in the manor. We should.
Yeah.
Ooh.
The drawbridge,
It's
everything.
down,
Oh
dude.
yeah,
Yeah, sure.
yeah. Well, they should come prepared. I mean, Jay, if you and I were going to this event, we would prepare our questions. We would have a lot of them. We would demand to see important rooms in the house, all throughout the manor. So, listeners, you really,
I'll say this.
have to
this
get your
through.
prep on tonight and come and be able to come back home and be able to email Jay and I and go, hey guys, this is what I learned. I don't know if you guys are aware of this, but at the age of 8, Eric, blah 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 blah, or whatever. You know?
I'll say this: I spent hours, as I referenced, cleaning the basement. I did nothing to my room, so my room is kind of shit on the floor still, and there's
Not literal shit on the
No,
floor.
not literal.
Okay.
Literal.
Because that wouldn't be out of the question.
I guess it wouldn't be. But so my room is still kind of a disaster. So
Well,
I
good.
can show them that, I guess.
We look forward to getting all the details come tomorrow, as to how that goes. Exciting week ahead for us too. You guys don't even know yet, but Jenny Fatirovich is coming in Tuesday.
Nice.
We had so much fun with her the last time she was in, and we're gonna go through some through her career and whatnot.
Just
she
the
was,
voice.
dude.
Just do the voice. That's all.
So funny, and some exciting news to talk about as well. I asked her if we could talk about it. She said we'll talk about it. It'll be fun. So we're looking forward to that. And then we've got shit. I can't remember his name right now. I had the email up there. But Thursday, the director is flying in and coming in studio from new movie coming out called Tough Guy, the Bob Probert story.
Yeah,
And
I want to see that.
Yeah, me too. I've got screener copies for us, so you guys can take a copy and check it out. And I'm sure that'll be really good. Just such a cool player, iconic player around these parts, especially. I mean,
I don't have
how much of the Dead Wing years was he here for? Was he like a I feel like he was here for a lot of that.
Yeah,
Like he was the draw before Yzerman took off.
But he definitely bridged into that time where they were starting to make hay in the playoffs and so forth.
Sure, yeah, the Cicerelli years and the early seasons with the grind line guys coming in, McCarty and Drapes, they got to play with Proby for, I don't know, a couple years at least. But interesting player too, because he wasn't just a goon. Probert, he had some big goal scoring years.
All-Star game one year.
Yeah, not with Detroit though. I don't think was it.
Maybe Chicago.
Chicago. I thought he had a great year with Chicago once too.
Gordy, I don't know. I don't see his last name, but in the text you sent earlier,
Jordy or something.
Jordy or Gordy.
Yeah,
does that ring a bell?
I think it's Jordy.
Okay.
Yeah, GEORGDIE, Jordy or something. So we'll do that later in the week. I went to a party last night, so I'm dragging ass. This morning, T-Roy and I were out. We got invited to a booby bash at a party.
You went?
Yeah, dude. Tim Peterson was blowing my phone. He's a cop, dude.
Yeah,
we're brothers in blue.
Yeah.
So it was like, my fellow,
dude, I gotta be honest.
Guy on the beat wants to do something. And so T-Roy was working me over. He's like, yo, dog. I've been to a lot of parties and shit. I ain't never been to one that's called Boo. That's advertising titties and will be on display during the party, serving shots and shit at a house party, and 100+ video games, full size, in the basement. And it was like a fucking arcade, dude. It was unbelievable.
Is it Tim's house? Or?
No, it's a friend of Tim's. And
how big is this basement?
It's it's like an arcade. They're stacked right next to each other. It's like old school pinball, and then like Frogger, and I played Joust.
Oh,
I played
nice.
Burger Chef, Donkey Kong, and Donkey Kong Juniors.
How many quarters you go through?
No, they're all free.
Yeah?
Yeah, it was all free. And then there was titties out, chicks walking around with just shots. They were in like fishnet stockings, thong, and tits out with trays.
Damn it.
Yeah, you should have. It's unbelievable. We had the game on. We've got Elvis Hitler's playing in the other room live, fucking blowing the stage up. There's another band before that. Fucking taco bar, all you could eat. Pizzas, all you could eat.
Shit.
Some other shit that probably shouldn't be talked about on the air. But yeah, dude, it was a blast. And it was cool because Tim, we even rode out with Tim and one of his other buddies, Mike, who's a cop as well. So it was cool, like having three of us there in the same car, swapping stories about life on the beat. And
I bet T-Roy felt very safe at that moment.
Oh, he did. Well, he knew he
Sitting
could
there
literally,
with 3 cops.
Dude, he could literally do anything he wanted, and he was untouchable. You got 3 fucking, you got 3 boys in blue, and we all had each other 6 all night, no matter what was going on. It was just, we're trading stories. Some of us had shorter careers than others. That goes without saying, but.
What was yours, a ride-along?
Well, yeah, I mean, some would say, but was I in the car? Was I in the front seat?
One afternoon?
Was I flying down the road
didn't
with
you
the
actually...
cops? Wasn't I in uniform, basically? I mean, I had the jacket on and all that. I was like a special
something,
member.
though? Like, seriously, wasn't there a
thing
where...
Oh, yeah, dude, we tracked a guy down and, in the house and...
No, he sat in the car while Crack went and busted down a door.
Dude, what if someone rolls up in the front lawn and I'm not there to have his back from the patrol car? I mean, dude, there's a protocol here.
Didn't he tell you, sit there, don't touch anything, don't ever get out of this car?
Well, he did until at one point he pulled over and he said, look, going into this place and it could get ugly. He grabs his fucking, I don't know what it was, his assault shot. No, I think it was an AR. He had an AR-15 and he had so he was like with his AR. And he's walking.
You don't go with an AR.
Well,
he grabbed his shotgun.
No, he didn't grab his shotgun because he doesn't have 2 shotguns in his car.
Okay.
And he goes, all right, if shit goes down and it gets real ugly, and he's in the trunk, he's got the AR. He's like, my shotgun.
Did he put a clip in his shotgun?
No, he did not. He put a magazine in his shotgun.
Really?
So his shotgun is in the, between where, my seat is in the front of the cop car, obviously, is one of the members of the team, and him. Shotgun's there, and he teaches me how to pull it out of there in case I need to come running in and just, guns a-blazing, and help the team out.
You imagine the desperate situation where a ride-along guy has to save you?
Fuck, it actually happened. Oh, shit. Oh, shit. He comes stumbling out the front door all bloody and
Mike, help! Mike!
Man down! Man down! I'm calling in fucking, his whereabouts. Officer down, officer down.
Right.
Grabbing the shotgun and just start blowing. Dude, I'd be hitting the neighbors' houses and everything. Oh, it'd be terrible. I'd be on the news. Well, I did my best. I didn't get proper training or nothing. He just told me how to pull it out of the car and how to pull the trigger. Yeah, the kid got shot, and that's on me. I got to live with that. But, I did the best I can.
Can you imagine the lawsuit that would come out of that? Some ride-along guy shoots up a kid.
Especially when I get my forehead taken off.
God.
That was also where when
I'd get out of my squad car and promptly like trip on the curb and shoot myself in the forehead with my shotgun.
Wasn't it also, I didn't do shit?
Yeah, that was one. Youngster we dragged out of his car. Well, Crack handled that part of the procedure.
The dragging.
Yeah. And I was sitting there.
You waited in the patrol car.
Well, I was hanging back just in case anything went down.
Sure.
It's like, I've got to have his 6 at all times, dude. So it's positioning. So he's up there dealing with him, and he brings him back and throws him in the back of the car, and he's like, he's like, watch this, and swipes his thing like a credit card, his license, and all the places he's wanted with warrants, and he called it, and then Crack, just being a smartass for my benefit, cops, we all have inside shit, all the time, but. He's like, what do? And the kid's in the back seat. I ain't do shit. I'm just going to get my son. And then that fucker leaves me. My partner leaves me in the car with that kid. And he's like, just hang back. And we've got the gate there, so I'm not worried about it. And I'm wearing this blue jacket that does not look like a cop uniform because, I said the last thing I will do is accept a sticker badge. Remember that?
Oh, right.
Sticker badges. I was like, bullshit.
So you got a windbreaker, right?
So I got a windbreaker. Yeah, but it made me look like I was like the lieutenant or something.
Sure.
On the beat.
And just your stature, your general presentation.
I mean, I've got my shades on.
Yeah.
What more do you? I've got the jacket on. It looks like I'm overseeing the whole thing.
Absolutely.
And this guy's trying to kiss up to me, and he's in the back going, "Sir, listen. I'm just trying to see my kid," and I'm in the front. And I'm just like. Pipe down back there. I don't want to hear it. And then I'm trying not to laugh at myself. I'm laughing in my head. I had to get out of the car at one point. I had to leave him in my squad car by himself as I walked in because I was laughing so hard. Quiet. I don't want. Save it for the judge, man.
Nice.
Yeah,
Save it for the judge.
You didn't coerce
awesome,
you didn't coerce anything? A confession? Nothing?
No, I tried to. I was thinking about giving him a beat down because he was cuffed. And he comes back and I'm dragging his face across the pavement. My partner's, what the fuck, dude? Oh, God, that was the best day of my life. My short-lived career on the force in Redford. God, that was awesome. I miss those days. Really do. But, yeah, what a fun time that party was last night, and everyone had a good time. It's kind of a deflating bummer a little bit when State lost, but quickly that was forgotten by most. And the party
Ooh, boobs.
Well, look, more titties. Hi, Ivy. Those titties are nice. It's 19 years old, 20. You're like, but, dude, we're driving there, and like, in the subdivision, you always know when you're going to a decent party. It's like, ooh, there's a lot of cars here, on either side of the street. It's like, I don't know, quarter mile down the street.
Holy shit.
Dude, and trying to find a parking spot. Fucking madness. Absolute
So how'd you
madness.
get to the door?
Believe me, it was an issue. We were about 2 more houses down. Had it come to that, we would have turned around and dropped me off at the door. Yeah, it was disgust. But I wanted to hang with my boys, I don't get to see my fellow brothers in blue very often, and so it was nice to get out there and so it was my choice, but I had a probably difficult one for me to make, but I made it, and I walked.
Now I got you.
I will say, however, at the end of the night, the car was waiting in the driveway for us when I walked out, so
Thank
I
God.
did not have to make the trek back.
I got to be honest, dude. I was forwarded an invite to this as well.
Why didn't you go?
I had to clean up.
Till 3:30 in the morning?
I don't like weird thing. Doesn't matter. I don't like going out Saturdays anymore. But this and that. Anyway, once I said, "Hey man, I'd love to. Honestly, thanks for the thing. Could you pass it along to Mike?" I was just like, "Yeah, sure." And I did not pass it along to you because I was like, "There's no fucking way Mike's going."
Right.
No, I had a lot of people hitting me up. It was T-Roy. T-Roy's like, "Yo, man, come on. I ain't never been to a party that's advertising for titties in the house and shit."
Titties in the house.
Yeah, I mean, like titties out, and I'm like, dude, let's be clear. Titties are out, fully walking around the party.
You clarified that before you agreed to do this.
no question. I said there are these video games. We're not sitting down at a console that has 100 old school video games. This is
right.
real. Full size. And I'm like, again,
Tim's the one who provided us this sweet thing.
Yeah,
right?
that's how he knows the guy.
Gotcha.
And so I was like, no, circling back, just to be clear, this party has happened before. This is an annual thing. Yes. Food bans, yes. Now, let's be very, very clear. This is very important. I need you to listen to me. Titties are out walking around in the house. And that, yes. Okay. I guess I could go to that.
I almost went myself, man.
Yeah, you should have.
If they're out.
If they're out. You promised they're not like, well, they'll let you peek at a nipple for $1. No, they're just out comfortably. Comfortable. This is what I do. I walk around with a tray of shot. Can I offer you a shot? How do my titties look? It was like, yeah, this is fantastic. And they lived up to all of it. It was all true. So I was very happy. You'll have to go next year if you can get on the list.
Yeah, okay, I'll try.
It's definitely worth it. So thanks to everybody out there for having us. We had a great time. Michael Avenatti, nice. You know, he chose to wait till the biggest weekend, obviously, of college basketball with the Final Four and all that. And
is he dropping names?
Yeah, he is. I don't know if it was last night. I think it was last night. He tweeted out because they've got him on allegations of extortion with Nike. Right? He was trying to get $20 million or $25 million out of him to keep the lid on. The allegation that Nike has been paying, top tier 5-star blue chip guys to go to their schools, Nike colleges, and including some big names. I think one of the kids was like #1 overall pick last year in the NBA draft. Another kid's projected to be, go declare for the draft this year,
right?
And be really highly ranked. And so he's saying that, Duke is now coming out. 'Cause I saw when he dropped this and was like, oh yeah, here's what I have, just a little bit of what I have. Zion Williamson. And he's like, yeah, why don't you reach out to the mom of Zion Williamson, who is will be the #1 overall pick. His mom was paid for consulting services that he claims are bogus. Nike paid Williamson's mother, Sharonda Sampson, for bogus consulting services to get Williamson to choose Duke. Duke is saying that they're looking into this. We're aware of the allegation, and as we would with any compliance matter, we are going to look into it. Duke is fully committed to compliance with all rules and regulations. Every student athlete at Duke is reviewed to ensure their eligibility. With regard to men's basketball, all recruits and their families are thoroughly vetted by Duke in collaboration with the NCAA through the Eligibility Center's amateurism certification process. So I don't know what that means. My guess is these guys are absolutely doing this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that wouldn't surprise you, would it?
No, it would not.
Avenatti says a senior executive at Nike has bribed over 100 high school athletes over the last 4 years to play basketball at affiliated Nike schools as opposed to others. He claims senior execs at Nike and other schools looked away. Nike says, and this is key because if this is bullshit, Nike would absolutely counter sue, and wouldn't they just immediately claim defamation or something? I don't know if you can defame a company. I guess you can defame a company just like you can a person. Don't you think they would? So in their statement, they just say, Jay, Nike said it will not respond to allegations of an individual facing federal charges of fraud and extortion and aid in his disgraceful attempts to distract from the athletes on the court at the height of the tournament. Nike will continue its cooperation with the government's investigation into grassroots basketball and the related extortion case. So that
I guess there's different strategies you could take. I don't know. I wouldn't read too much into that, like as an admission of some sort, like, oh, you're not countersuing, therefore you must have done it.
Well, don't you think they would come out probably and go, hey, these allegations are absurd. We absolutely...
Yeah, that's one way to do it.
Is that not the way you would do it? Categorically deny that.
Yeah,
instead of
probably think this seems to mirror the Adidas thing that happened last year, right? Where Bowens or whatever, the guy who was going to go to Louisville at the last second, he was like in line to go to State.
This is one that pisses you off. I was going to ask you about this.
And then at the last second, he goes to Louisville. And I remember watching that and going, "Oh, okay. Well, I thought that dude was going to State, but
wasn't Louisville not even in his top?
Weren't even in the top
5 schools? Or
yeah, you can look at these recruiting services, and they're speculating, but they're trying to gauge it based on comments from their AAU coaches and from their parents and shit like that.
Cities they live in.
Yeah, and they kind of narrow it, and sometimes the student athlete themselves.
You can't even say it with a
you almost
face.
spit water out, didn't you? the student athlete themselves may say, these are my final 3 picks or whatever. Mm-hmm. But yeah, he had like his final 3 or final 5 or whatever, and Louisville wasn't in them.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, no, he's not going to State. He's going to Louisville.
Is that Pitino that was there at the time?
Yes, that was Pitino.
Yeah. And so you're just like, wow, he was a 5-star?
I think so. He was a highly touted dude.
Dude, that would piss me off so bad. Like if I'm paying that much attention, I'm looking at, because you always, I'll get a call from Deuce or a text him. Michigan just got a 5-star fucking linebacker recruit, #1 linebacker in the country, and then it's like 3 months later he's like decided to go elsewhere, and it's like, God damn it, what happened? And that can be anything from like a rumor that Harbaugh's going to the pros, see, and it's like all of a sudden these guys flee and bail. Basketball can be the same way, and so I remember you going, dude, this is bullshit. Something's up. I don't know what it is, but this doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. So there's been I think some convictions, maybe some 3 sentenced in Adidas recruiting scandal. So this Nike thing that Avenatti is breaking it just seems to be the status quo for college basketball.
Yeah.
And in the end, I don't know if we're going to get to this discussion, but don't they just need to fucking be paid?
Yeah. Especially when you look at what the coaches are paid. You know, these guys are making hundreds of thousands of dollars in bonuses over the weekend.
I've kind of I've kind of waffled on this over the years. Some days I think, yeah, fuck yeah, pay them all, and then other days I'm like, no, you know, college is different, and I don't know. It just seems.
Well, it seems like it's a job in that you are working and traveling with this program. You're not allowed to work.
That's the thing when the NBA, what's the rule? It's 1 year, right?
1 year.
You've got to be in college 1 year.
Yeah, I guess, or somewhere.
Yeah, you can't go right from high school to the pros anymore.
Right.
LeBron did it. Others did it.
Yep, Kobe.
Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant was at Texas. But they made the rule, and they said, I think Sean Kemp did it back in the day.
Maybe.
They said, nope, got to at least stay 1 year.
Why?
I know. That's my thing. It's so arbitrary, and it's like you just, to your point, you're denying them the ability to fucking go to work
and make money for their families, and that's usually the decision. Is, you know, a lot of these kids come from, you know, busted up areas and broken families, and it's like you can instantly change everyone's life, get them out of the projects wherever they're at. I mean, why wouldn't you? Unfortunately, there's a lot of kids. Because the difference, we've talked about it, regardless of sport, it doesn't matter, but the difference between high school to college and college to pros is so night and day. You see high school kids, you know, playing against Zion Williamson, it's laughable. Mm-hmm. And then college, it's like you can see where, okay, this guy can hang with the big boys. This is a whole unit here, a team of guys at his level.
You look at their body and their skill development over 2, 3, 4 years in college, and it's pretty remarkable.
Yeah.
Goran Suton. Remember that player at Michigan State?
Suton,
White guy. I mean, he blew as a freshman, absolutely blew. And then he ends up, like, as a senior, like a main go-to guy. You know, these guys develop. Their bodies fill out. And so a lot of these dudes, no chance going high school to NBA. But every now and then there's the Zion Williamson. And why deny the guy?
Yeah, but there's been a lot of examples of guys that are like, yeah, I'm just going to go to the pros. And they go and they just fucking can't hang at that level.
Sorry.
They're not ready yet, and that can destroy a kid. I mean, it's his fault, his call and his fault, not anyone else's. But, you know, but yeah, college basketball probably just wants those kids, even for a year.
Sure.
Just get them here, you know, for the program, whatever. And so Avenatti is saying, you know, that it's what's it called, exceptional youth basketball or elite youth basketball, EYB, I think is what it is, where these kids funnel through these programs, kind of like the one you and Russell visited down in Florida, where it's just, you know, you pay a lot of money, you're coached up proper, and then you go to the big programs. It's where all the big dogs go and stuff. And so it's like, oh yeah, this kid's mom is getting $25,000, you know, as a whatever fee, you know, and then they're able to, you know, well, we've given you all this money. Now they can kind of pick what school they want them to go to, and they're just kind of farming
Nike
these
schools. There's Adidas schools,
right? And so they're then farming these kids out. That's the allegation to their schools, which. As far as paying them, I feel like you should pay them anyways. And the problem is, what do you pay who? Does the freshman?
That is where the problem
goes
in.
What about the rower?
Because that's the thing. It can only be freaking basketball and football. I'm sorry. Maybe hockey in some schools.
I don't know. You look at some schools like Iowa. Their wrestling program is unbelievable.
Well, what if you said what your program brings in financially, you get whatever the team, the players get the X percent of, whether it's 2%.
Yeah.
Or, you know, so if you've got you know, like Duke football players should not make as much as Duke basketball players.
Right.
But you would never say that, you know, whatever, USC football wouldn't be paid more than USC basketball players. You know, so it depends. But if your team is badass at crew and it generates $1 million a year, and you want to give each kid $1,000, whatever it is, because it's bullshit that they, you know, aren't allowed to work. They put all those hours. They can't even get summer jobs because they're doing the, you know, football and basketball.
In the big ones.
In the
it's
big
pretty
programs.
Much their life, probably.
And they're still not paid. I mean, it's bullshit.
Remember Chris Webber couldn't even afford a pizza.
Oh, yeah. As he's walking
Look at him. They're selling my jersey for $100. I can't even afford a pizza.
Yeah.
Sure,
oh God.
Sure.
Mitch really brought that story to life, didn't he?
Yeah, he did.
Mitch
brings a lot of stories to life.
Sure does. Even ones that didn't happen.
Crazy.
Speaking of the Spartans' Final Four.
That's right. As he sat in the crowd, I was talking to him.
Mo Peterson. I said to Mo, and Mo said, Mitch,
I can't.
Mo wasn't even there.
Mo wasn't there.
I cannot believe he got away with that more than he did.
Yeah.
Like, really?
I know.
Like,
it's
that's
just
kind
dismissed. Yeah, made up a story.
Right.
That is like
That he was sitting there with Mo Peterson and Charlie Bell, I think, in
what
the
is
stands.
what is worse than that? Plagiarism, maybe, but to make up a story completely, like,
And
and I don't care how small the detail. As I'm sitting next to Mo Peterson and we're watching the game and discussing blah blah, and you're like,
It's like a Brian Williams thing, you know?
but even Brian Williams, like,
That's like a failed memory. That's a weird thing.
yeah.
You could say,
Psychologists
like,
have
right.
looked at that and gone, you know, this isn't that odd, honestly,
Yeah.
for him to have that recollection or tell that story over and over and then
Yeah.
start to
That's actually
elaborate
really
on
common,
it.
they say, yeah.
and I believe it because I've said it before. I am dead. I would have bet E's life on it. That when the Challenger disaster happened, that thing blew up. I was like, oh yeah, I was in like 4th grade. I remember watching it in Tyler Elementary School, and remember the classes. I remember walking down the hallway, and it's like, no, you idiot, you were like 14 when that happened. You were
Yeah.
not in fucking elementary school. I would have bet E's life that
You
that
made-
was
Dude,
there.
you can watch you can watch docs on it and shit like that. The memory and dude, even things right after they happen.
Yeah.
People saying like, "Oh yeah, this is the guy that robbed a store." So the memory is one thing, but that's not what Mitch did. It wasn't memory related. He wrote an article.
No, Mitch was flat out just yeah. He just put himself in a
made
few
up
players.
facts.
Wasn't it the other guy too, the point guard that
Mateen? Maybe.
wasn't it Mateen and Mo that he was
You know,
apparently with?
I'll bing it.
Didn't he? And by the way,
We shouldn't misrepresent Mitch's misrepresentation.
Right. We don't want to be factually inaccurate when we're slamming Mitch Albom
Dude,
for
didn't
it.
he basically just come out and kind of in an article go, "Yeah, sorry,"
Huh,
and
it's crazy.
that was it,
You know,
right?
Oprah. So what are you gonna do?
Oprah Book Club.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, you have heard of a book called what was the fucking book? The big one,
Tuesdays with Maury. Yeah, Tuesdays with Maury. Yeah, 5 people you meet in heaven. Oprah. Well, see you later.
He got
Gotta go.
suspended.
Did he?
Ooh. But they
Suspension from the Free Press until the paper completes an investigation of a fabrication in a column by Album that ran, what year is this? In 2005. Jason, Final Four game, in earlier interviews, what Album did was write a column as if his 2 interview subjects were at the Michigan State, North Carolina NCAA men's basketball game. That's the one we referred to.
Okay.
This one was in St. Louis. In earlier interviews, former Michigan State players Jason Richardson and Mateen Cleaves told Album they were planning to attend the game, but they did not.
Yeah, crazy.
Filing on Friday in advance of the Saturday game for a section that was printed by Saturday morning several hours before the game, Album wrote, and copy editors did not change, that Richardson and Cleaves had flown in for the game and were in the stands wearing Michigan State clothing.
Absolutely. Why wouldn't they be?
The column emphasized how much Cleaves and Richardson missed their college experiences.
Well, when you're watching it live like that in person with your colors on.
But scheduling conflicts prior had kept both players from attending the game.
What? Wait, no, they just said they were there in school colors watching the game in the stadium.
Conflicts. It's not viewed as a minor infraction, said Free Press public editor John X. Miller. Has to be a Xavier.
Sure.
John 24 Miller said of the column gap, because in the minds of the editors, it was a fabrication. Wouldn't it be 24 in your algebraic mind?
Oh, yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, but I would say Malcolm 10, not Malcolm 24.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Dude, that's hilarious.
I you know what?
Such a huge infraction that he's still there today in 2019.
Right. I actually want to look. I'm going to try to look into this more. I want to see like what his reaction, what his response was, and it makes me think like even when you've talked about now like yelling at people like Jussie Smollett or whatever, like it makes me want to yell out to Mitch like, what about that article? Like I want to hear, I want face to face him to tell me why that was okay, and he gets on his high horse as much as anybody.
Oh
does.
my God, he just pointed to something he did in Haiti.
You know, you're right.
Yeah.
It's excusable because
Haiti,
Oprah,
Oprah.
Maury, which I'd love to read that shit too. Because
now,
my guess, did he spend Tuesdays every Tuesday with Maury? Because my guess is fuck no. Maury probably would go, Mitch who?
Now, is it the end of the world that he made up that Richardson and Mateen Cleaves?
No, it's not.
He's just a pompous asshole.
Yeah, that's why it is.
I know. If he was like,
it's not like a Jussie Smollett issue, know, where he actually harmed people and spent a lot of money.
It's like you talked about with D-Mag. It's the guy that sat there and said that fight was boorish or whatever, the words he used.
Caveman.
Caveman. And then he comes out and high on his horse and then that. So you're right.
No, the problem is most people don't realize how fooled they've been. I think people around here know, obviously more than most, But the fact is, Mitch Albom is a dick. He's a dick.
Right.
And every time I've met him, he's been a dick. And every person that I know that's worked for him thinks he's a fucking dick.
Well, you're going to love this then, because recently I was binging American classic novels. And I'm going through this list of things. Like, I'm like, as a kid, young man, I haven't read enough of those classic novels like 1984, Brave New World, et cetera, et cetera. Yeah. So I want to read some of this, see if it's any good. And so I'll bing, American classics. And fucking
Tuesdays with Morrie.
Who I Met in Heaven or whatever.
5 People You Meet in Heaven.
Dude, it's up there. And
pamphlet, man. Those things are
you're right.
They're so short. Tuesdays with Morrie is okay. Honestly, I've read it before. I read Tuesdays with Morrie. I think it's okay. But it's like 100 pages or 150.
I bing novels, not pamphlets.
Right.
Yeah.
My God, man.
Yeah.
But it's up there. It's up there in the top 50 for sure. I have a lot of lists that I've binged.
Oprah.
That I've bung.
You've bung. Yeah, and so that's what bothers me about shit like that story is like he gets all this credit. He can sit on Oprah and have her just oh my God, Mitch, the work you're doing in Haiti for the children and blah, 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 and getting water there and building huts out of straw, whatever the fuck he's doing. And, doing all this charity shit over here, which pissed some locals off because it ran the ice cream shop out of town because he was doing all his shit for charity right down the street.
You're talking about at the Franklin...
Yeah, the farmhouse took a hit, not even here anymore.
That's right.
Because Mitch brought his little fucking shitty frost.
He should answer to
that. The farmhouse had to desperately try their pothole ice cream. Remember that?
Right. Oh, it was a Hail Mary.
It was a
Hail Mary attempt to stay in business. When Mitch just gets fucking lot at the corner, all proceeds to charity for, come get your slushy snow cone.
I want to see those proceeds. I want to see how much, what are the administration costs on his charity. And you're right, he did drag that out of town. Like,
ask Mr. House how he feels about Mitch fucking Albom,
man.
And his stupid band. What about his stupid band with Stephen King and all those people or whatever?
Oh, yeah. Bob Guinea.
He's so dynamic, isn't he?
I know.
My God.
Dude, he talks about, because my dad used to fucking listen to him all the time. And, like, when he talks about that band.
Well, he does do great interviews when he's got, like, whoa,
hey, Mitch, man.
He's got the Donald Trump on. But when he talks about that band.
He was just about to do a great fucking impression.
Travolta.
I love of his Travolta. So, John, I hear that you've got a new movie coming out.
I do, Mitch, man. Let me tell you about it. It's hilarious.
Every time.
Hold on, E.
Sorry, apologize.
Ha, 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 ha. That's hilarious, John. Gotta let you go. I think the president, Donald Trump, is calling in. Yeah, Mitch. How's it going, Mitch? It's me.
It's his show, man.
45, the President of the United States.
So here's the one thing you missed in that. In the Travolta one, not only does he have to give his reviews, but in every week, every review, Mitch has to somehow sit there and fake this interest of like, hey, Travolta, I think that's the wrong movie. Every time, dude. Travolta does a thing.
That's funny. When it hits once, it can hit again.
Oh,
man.
And it does. 5 times a week, every week for blank years.
Playing the straight man masterfully.
Yeah. Some would say. And it's like, it's like, who's on the line now, Carl? It's like, well, Nancy. It's like, we can't get anybody better, more updated than fucking...
Reagan and
Travolta.
You're lucky Trump's there, dude. Honestly, like, I can't believe.
Oh man, Mitch. Me and Linda are talking about you over the weekend. Having a good old time.
Why is that Elvis Presley on the line?
It's me, the king, Mitch. It's the king. Yeah. And if I
find or hear the individual that said that about me,
don't say that.
I will pull your goddamn tongue out of the root. Thank you very much.
We apologize to our listeners for that
strong
that salty language.
No, I'm sure he's a sweetheart of a man. Really just doing God's work out there.
Sure he is.
Yeah. Speaking of God's work, and Jay, there's a lot of them out there, these evangelical preachers. I love these guys, these mega churches really
private jets and everything.
Yeah, which we found out there's a very good reason for that because, they can pray and talk directly to Jesus from their Gulfstream 5 and 6, whatever, $100 million jets they're flying.
They're not interrupted by the riffraff.
All these people, oh my God, I need, oh geez, I'm poor. Oh my God, is everything ever going to get better? It's like, hey, I'm trying to talk to God here, fuckface. Would you beat it? You're filthy. And so I love these stories that come out on these mega church guys. And there's some, anytime they're talking about celebrity preacher.
Tell me it's Joel Osteen.
I don't see his name. He might be. There's a guy who's got an Instagram account and it's blowing the fuck up now. And he's like, why are these guys all wearing like the most expensive sneakers on the planet? And so he starts an Instagram called @PreacherSneakers, and he's got these fucking mega church guys, and they're wearing suits, and then they're wearing like $3,000 Jordans and shit. Yeah, Rich Wilkerson is a Miami preacher. He's the guy that officiated Kim Kardashian and Kanye West's wedding. New York City pastor Carl Lentz, he baptized Justin Bieber and other Bieber friends like Judah Smith and Chad Veach. I started deep diving these mega churches, and I realized there's a lot of people out here wearing like the hypest outfits, the highest resale kicks in the game.
Hypest outfits.
It's like, preacher, what are you doing? Look at that guy at the bottom right. Those are $4,000, $3,700 Nikes, dude.
What?
Yes. Isn't that insane?
Yes.
They show this Veach guy, Chad Veach. He runs the hip. Is it Zoe or Zoe? Zoe Church in Los Angeles, where actors like Chris Pratt have flocked there. Okay, he's got Chris Pratt, and so the account's got him in his $2,000 Gucci backpack and his $1,000 or $800 Rude track pants. It's like just spreading the word of the Lord, you know?
Man,
isn't that crazy? Roll through some of those. You can scroll through them and see like.
Here, let me put this over here.
Preacher sneakers.
So I get that a lot of these dudes are really they're not formally dressed. You know, they want to be casual. They want to identify with the common man and all that. But identifying with the common man wearing $3,000 shoes?
No, that is not what the common man wears. And I get it. You know, Frederick Rogers laid this base long ago. I mean, he was a minister. And he decided to go out without the collar.
He opened his show by removing his tie. Right?
Well, he didn't wear the collar or anything religious. He didn't talk about the Bible. He dressed cardigan sweater, you know, and
those
t-shirt.
Weird little tennis shoes that he had.
Yeah, it was weird. I finally watched that special, Would You Be My Neighbor or whatever,
Nice.
that
You
HBO
like it?
one.
Is it good?
Yeah, it's pretty good, man. I gotta think like.
I loved it personally.
Did you? I like the guys that were background, like that were there with him all along.
Yeah.
And they started out as young kids, like filming this thing, and so they got like nose rings and fucking tatted up, and they would fuck around all the time. And here's this unique little innocent Fred Rogers, and he's like, yeah, I'd grab Fred's camera. Fred brought a camera to work one day, and he would take pictures of the set and this and that. He's like, got that camera, went in the back room, pulled my pants down, took a nice ass shot. And he's like, back in those days, you'd have to go get it developed somewhere. And so he says, Fred never said a word. Months go by, and then, having a party, and he's like, I got this for Chris over here. Something. He's got a poster made of it. This guy, and they show it. This guy's whole ass is out in the back. Look in the mirror. So those guys were fucking around and doing shit, but. Yeah, Fred was a pretty good dude, man. But they even got into like,
the gay stuff.
Yeah, the gay stuff. Because who was the officer, the black guy?
He was
not
the
McFeely.
postman.
No, the postman. Yeah, but the black cop.
Oh yeah, I don't.
And he was a homo, and so they show this video, and like it's really cool what Frederick did. They're showing this video, and these black people, African Americans, are going swimming like at a community pool or something or at a hotel. And this is like the 70s or something. And they show people, some guy that runs the place, go on, Negroes, get out of the pool. And the news guy's like, yes, the man is trying to get these Negroes out of his pool, does not want them in there, contaminating things. And he's walking around the pool with like bleach, and he's just pouring gallons of bleach in while they're splashing around in the water, trying to clean it because the Negro is obviously going to poison the water. Disgusting shit. And so...
Francois Clemens.
Yeah, is it Officer Clemens who's on the show? Yeah, and so he's like, they show Fred Rogers at this little kiddie pool. Oh yeah, here he goes. He's washing his feet with him.
And this was 100. Like Mike started on that story. This was 100% to put out there for kids that it was not the idea that you couldn't be in a pool with a black guy. Like,
yeah, yeah. And I gotta be honest,
Frederick.
It was brave because Fred's toes, while not as fucked as E's, there's something fucked up with Fred's toes.
Is that right?
Yeah, they just kind of curl up weird and shit. So it was
gnarled.
Yeah, and so it was brave. Now the officer, I thought his toes were spectacularly nice. I mean, gorgeous looking toes. And so yeah, it was interesting to see stuff like that. His family and that that puppet that scared the shit out of all of us.
Oh God,
that weird one.
Ugh.
Dude, those were based on like family members of Fred's, and his kids are like, yeah, we're all pretty sure that's our Aunt Judy. That's based on, and they show her. It's like, oh my God, she looks like the puppet.
Oh man, that thing scared the crap out of me. I hated that.
Terrifying.
Hey, by the way, I don't know if you wanted to watch just because we're talking about this. You could. Where is it? Shit. You could watch this again.
Lady Elaine Fairchild. That's the puppet.
Just the preacher about the private jets.
We've always got time for this, E. Absolutely. Absolutely, we have time for this. Go ahead.
A glorious meeting. I had just finished, me and Creflo Dollar
Kenneth Copeland, preaching. Jesse Duplantis.
Had a glorious meeting. So I was, for lack of a better way to say it, I was spiritually high. I said, people were saved, touched, and blessed. Got in the plane that God so graciously gave us. Was flying home. As I was going home, the Lord, real quickly, he said, Jesse, do you like your plane? Now, I thought that's an odd statement. I said,
sure is.
Well, certainly, Lord. He said, do you really like it? And I thought, well, yes, Lord. Then he said this, so that's it? I didn't know how to handle it for me. I went, what? He said, you're going to let your faith stagnate? And when he said that, that shocked me. I went, whoa, wait. I literally unbuckled my seatbelt, my plane. I stood up. My pilots looked at me and said, do you need something? I said, no, I'm talking to God right now.
Yeah, stay out.
And he went back to flying. I said, Lord, I don't think I was letting my faith stagnate. He said, so this is all I could ever do. I said, you're trying to tell me something. He said, go to the book of Amos. So if you're at the book of Amos, I want to read the scripture.
May I interrupt you there?
Yes, sir.
For a second?
I think this is
You couldn't have done that on an airliner.
No, sir. No way.
Stand up and say, what'd you say, Lord?
No.
Okay, no, yeah. And the guy sitting over there saying, what the hell does he think he's doing? You can't do that.
You can't do that.
No.
Can't do it.
This is so important. And those of you that are just now coming into these things, in the first place, Jesse and I and others, Keith Moore and Creflo and all of us.
Sure. Joel.
The world is in such a shape we can't get there without this.
That's right.
We've got to have
private jet.
We would have the mess that the airlines are in today. I would have to stop. I'm being very sincere. At least 75 to 80, more like 90% of what we're doing, because you can't get there.
You cannot.
It's impossible.
So and this was such a good illustration. I just the Lord impressed me.
Can you pause for a second?
That's why we're on that airplane.
Yeah, it's why. Jay, do you remember what condition were the airlines in when Jesus was here? Do you remember the state of that? Is it worse now than it was then?
Markedly.
Because, I mean, he had a what did Jesus rode on a Harley, right? That's what he had, was a Harley that
dromedary. An ass from time to time.
He had an ass, yeah, and sandals.
Indeed.
In the desert, he really relied on his kicks. I don't know if his were $3,000. His sandals, a pair. But I remember him on an ass too.
I love when he goes, we couldn't do 75, 80, maybe 90%. Like he just
making it up.
I'm gonna go for it. 90.
Can you imagine?
Why did you say 100?
Think about this too. He's on a $50 million Gulfstream 5 or 6, I think. Jesse Duplantis is. And he's talking to God, and God's not making any sense. God's like, hey, your flock, fate, whatever he was saying. He's like, what? God, you're trying to say something to me. You're trying to tell me something. What do you spit it out, God? You're talking in circles. You sound like Big E, for fuck's sakes. And he takes off his seatbelt and he stands up. And at this point, the pilots, who are, 50 feet front, go, what? Take it off, turn around. Jesse, is everything okay? I'm talking to God. Fucking fly the plane, will you please? I'm in the middle of talking to God. I hope there's a God. I just want to be there the day he meets Jesse and Kenneth and these people and goes, So
the Gulfstream thing.
Yeah. How'd that go again? Wait, refresh my memory about what I said to you exactly. Because that's going to be a fun fucking conversation to
that was a miscommunication there, I think. If there was a message being delivered, dude, I think it got miscommunicated.
But these guys die, they're going to wake up and just like, oh, shit, he does exist? Fuck. Oh, my life DVD's going to look way bad now. Oh, I really took advantage of my position. Oh, that Gulfstream's going to be hard to explain. Oh, I wore fucking $4,000 Jordans. Oh, shit. Oh.
So there's an Instagram guy who's posting all these preacher sneakers.
Yeah.
And this is a thing. There's more than just a few of these guys who are decked out in these sneakers.
All these megachurch dudes. Yeah, there they are. There you go.
So there's some more. I mean, it appears to kind of stop here, but I mean, you can.
Is that a style beyond megachurch pastors? You know what I mean? Like, are there just really rich guys rolling around with like sport jackets on and then Jordans?
Oh yeah,
yes, I think that.
Yes, there's a lot of examples of this. You know, and ones you don't know. Some of those big Baptist preachers in Atlanta, you know, with mega mansions and stuff. And
no, I'm just talking about Joe Schmo. You know, guy who's financial analyst in Birmingham. Is he walking around with Jordans and a?
Well, I noticed this when me and
Mike
Untuck when me and Mike were in
probably
when we were in New York at that comedy club. I don't know if you remember this, but I said it to you afterwards. Like, it was about 8-ish comics, you know, and they were pretty young, kind of, you know, quote unquote hippish guys. And I think out of the 8, there was a girl. So you take away that. 6 out of the out of the shoes, 6 out of the 7 of them had like sneakers, man.
Oh yeah, Seinfeld, man, doing the Jerry Seinfeld thing. Really, I used to hate that about him.
Yeah, but you're seeing it a lot though with suits on, and then you got a pair of Jordans on. Yeah. Maybe not $4,000, but you know, wearing Yeezys. Those are Yeezys that one fat dude's wearing, the all red ones. You know, and those are
that's my question. You know, I know sneakers are obviously huge right now, and people in their 40s, 50s, whatever, are wearing them. But I just wondered if people are rolling around in like that outfit. Is that outside of the mega church context? The guy on the right, are there people rolling around like that?
Yeah,
I think so.
Yeah, and then they probably wear them once, and you know, are very, if at all, you know, people that are collecting these types of things. There's certain pairs you would just never take out of the box. But they might wear them out and then immediately wipe them down and box them back up, and you know, it's about having it. You wouldn't want to go out and just like roaming in the fucking dirt in a pair of $2,000 Jordans.
So I'm not defending these preachers for their clear misuse of church funds.
That's my problem.
But this $3,700 one, that's bad.
But if that's kind of the style right now, it's, you know.
I just think it sends such a horrible message.
I know, but it would
that's
be
the problem.
It would be I totally agree, but I guess I thought when you first started this story, like, whoa, what is this? There's just some strange act of these middle-aged dudes wearing sneakers on stage, but if everybody's doing it and they're just trying to rub I'm a man of the people or whatever.
Well, I don't know if people in, you know, a lawyer in court is wearing a suit and then throwing those tennis shoes on, but a lot of people are. Yeah. A lot of people are doing that, which I think is a weird look, but it's such a weird look that it's taken off with a lot of people. Like, I'm not just going to wear, you know, Buster Brown fucking dress shoes. I'm gonna throw on something comfortable. And
so this is the equivalent of preachers back in the day wearing the crocodile shoes and shit like that, you know, trying to look sweet up at the pulpit.
But it's, I don't know, dude. It's beyond that. Like,
it's
if
something
they were wearing,
that has been an epidemic the whole time, right? If we say it's the equivalent of that.
If he was wearing these Nikes that I'm wearing, right? Yeah. $100 pair of shoes probably. I don't know. I bought them years ago. If he was wearing that suit and these, nobody would have a problem. I wouldn't have a problem with that. Whatever. Yeah. He wants to be comfortable. He's on stage. You know, I get it. You want to reach a younger crowd. You want to appear to not be the stale fucking, you know, and the Lord on the seventh day has died, you know.
Where's the line in your mind?
$300.
So you could wear Yeezys.
No, I do not think a fucking preacher should be wearing $300 Yeezys on stage. So I think that's bullshit.
Yee's line is at $300. Where's your line?
The problem, Jay, is I don't know, anything obnoxious, anything that's show-offy. Yeah. I think if you're trying to be, you can still kind of acquire that look enough to get respect from other people, where you don't have to dress up but you don't have to wear a fucking $2,000 outfit and a $1,000 pair of shoes. That's bullshit.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I don't dress like that, so that is totally foreign to me, and the notion that anyone would want to do that is weird to me.
Yeah,
the idea of having $3,000 shoes, just I don't care who you are,
right?
That's insane to me.
But if you had $20 million
in the bank, you put it on a
preacher,
preacher, and that freaking, you know, just exponentially makes it insane.
These guys in Bentleys and Rolls Royces,
I know.
It's like, dude, you should be in a sensible car, 4-banger, maybe a 6-banger. If you're driving anything better than a Taurus, you're a fucking asshole as a preacher. And
I agree.
You in a sports car,
if you're a government employee or a preacher, to me, it's like, look, that's your lot. You know, you've decided that's my passion, that's my calling.
Totally.
It's weird to be rich in those spots. You know, it's weird. And like the government officials, like Kwame, wanted to roll around like he did, as if that's somehow you're entitled to that. No.
Yeah, navigators and shit.
Yeah, you agreed to be a public official, and then you use that as a stepping stone if you want to be something different or bigger and make your money down the line. But you do not. No. You don't roll like that as a government employee. And to me, and like you say, it's the same thing for preachers. It's just the wrong message.
It's you just know that there's a lot of people out there that are hurting and are poor and are desperate, looking for answers, and they're trusting these people. And if you're a good enough actor and a good enough speaker, you can go on stage and under the guise of wanting to help people through the Lord and Scripture and be cool and hip and constantly pulling on them for more money when they don't have it to give.
Yeah.
You know, promising them shit that you can't possibly deliver on. And you're just flat taking advantage. And then to fill your pockets with that and be buying those kind of houses, clothes, all the shit we've talked about, it's criminal in my opinion. But we're seeing it and nobody seems to give a shit. I mean, Kenneth Copeland can go on TV talking about a Gulfstream 5 and justifying it. Remember that asshole showing us all the pictures of the various Gulfstreams he's had?
Absolutely, yeah.
Well, I had the Gulfstream 4. And I said, Lord, the Lord said, is it enough plane? And I said, well, a Gulfstream 5 would be nicer. Then that's what you need is a Gulfstream 5.
Of course it'd be nicer.
Oh,
crazy.
Sickening.
Hey, speaking of money, does your money work as hard as you do? You will spend upwards of 45 years working to support your lifestyle, provide for your family, and set aside money for retirement. Let Mark Leibovitz at LPL Financial help to make sure your money is working as hard as you are. Call today. Tell him you're a friend of the show for a no-cost, no-obligation consultation. Call 248-626-2000. That's 248-626-2000. And ask for Mark.
Securities and advisory services offered through LPL Financial, a registered investment advisor. Member FINRA SIPC.
Hey, we've run late here, man, and there's a couple things left to do. So why don't we take a very quick time out and we'll come back. I mean, it is WrestleMania Day, E, and Bret Hart, Bret the Hitman. Didn't his brother die years ago? Wasn't he the one that fell?
Yeah.
Like 78 feet?
Yeah, I don't know. You know, yes, I just know I know he died in a pay-per-view falling. I don't know.
Was that whole thing televised? Him falling? It must have been.
I mean, yeah, it was in a pay-per-view. I don't know to the extent that it was shown live or what the camera angles were, but
yeah. Oh, there it was. 1999. A stunt went wrong, and he fell to his death during a pay-per-view in Kansas. Yeesh. So Bret the Hitman Hart went into the Hall of Fame, the WWE Hall of Fame, and that had some interesting aspects to it as a fan tried to did tackle him on stage. We'll show you that, and we'll get to some email as well. So we'll do that and more next.
The Detroit Cast continues after this short break. Cast continues now, bitches. Here are Mike and Jay.
All right, welcome back to the show. Blathering on for a while here. Got to get E out of here. He's got a party to host tonight, Fading Manor. It's going to be exciting. I can't wait to hear about it tomorrow, honestly. A lot of exciting stuff going on around here. But the podcast we've launched, Heroin has a great publicist with J. Chris Newberg. He's doing great. And he's spitting some things out. And wanted to mention he's got a gig coming up. He's going to be at Ridley's in August. And some of you probably saw posted on some of the fan sites and everywhere that August 7th, live TDC show.
Wrong. Fake news.
Heroin has a great publicist live and special guest, and he was dropping hints, and I'm like, stop. No. We haven't secured everything yet. And so anyways, Jay, you talked to him, and we can't make that work. You've already got stuff on the schedule going on and can't do it. And it's like, well, you guys just do it. And I'm like, no, I'm not announcing a Detroit cast live without Jay. Forget it. So we had to tell Chris, sorry, dude. And so he's going forward with it. He dropped the price a lot. And he was like, hey, is there any way you can come out and maybe be my guest for the thing? I said, sure. And I said, I can get E out there and T-Roy, so we can all go out there and help. So he's going to be doing that. Heroin, he's going to do his show live, and we'll be out there. And T-Roy's going to come out. Michelle will be there. And then Chris is going to do stand-up, too. So it should be a good night. It's like $25 a ticket or something. A lot of them sold over the weekend.
20.
It sold, what's that?
20.
$20. Oh, okay, $20 a ticket. Sold a shitload of tickets over the weekend. So my guess is by the time August 7th gets here, that thing will be sold out. So if you want to go, it's at Ridley's Comedy Castle. And Chris will be there that weekend, too. Thursday, Friday, Saturday. And that show's going to be on Wednesday. So 248-542-9900. Or go to comedycastle.com. And you'll see the Heroin has a great publicist logo right there. You can click on that. It'll take you to get tickets. And so anyway, it should be a good time, a lot of fun.
Speaking of James Christopher show, I just posted episode 23, so look for that.
Oh, okay, great. Excellent. He was telling me over the weekend, he's like, yeah, man, you think this is someone's mad at me or something? And I was like, well, what did you do? And I guess he had a Satanist on the show. And of course, I'm like, dude, anytime you have, I don't care if you have a priest on or a Satanist on, someone's going to be pissed off and upset. You're going to it just comes with the territory.
Yeah.
Just, deal with it. He's like, I thought it was interesting. I'm like, sure.
It probably
that's
was.
all that matters.
I mean,
do it. Who cares?
I'll be honest. I got about 10 minutes into her and was like,
Yeah, not for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the way that goes.
Yep.
That's the way it goes. I had Vinny over here from Sponge over the weekend. I had the best fucking talk with him. And I'm so excited for some stuff we're going to be doing over here together. He's coming over later this week. We're going to do a practice thing. He and I with his guitar, and he's talking about stories, that he wants to weave in and out. I think he wants to take this thing like on the road and talk to like college kids about, kind of the warnings of a life in that business and what it comes with. And dude, he tells me this story about him and a buddy.
Don't tell the story.
Why?
Let him tell it.
Oh, well, I can tell the story.
I wouldn't tell other people's stories that are lined up for a podcast, but okay.
Well, he's not, dude. Jesus.
It's a huge story.
I wasn't going to tell the whole story.
You were about to tell the story.
No, I wasn't. I wasn't going to tell the whole story.
Okay.
Jesus, he wouldn't care anyways. It's not like he's probably told it plenty of times. But about him and, smoking crack with buddies back in the days and babysitting, and where that goes. And he's like, oh, dude, I'm like, do you tell that on the show? He's like, oh, hell yeah.
Nice.
It's crazy, dude. Fucking crazy. So it's going to be really, really exciting, some of the stuff that we're talking about. So we'll look forward to that. I did want to show this wrestling video, E, if you have it there.
What's the deal with this? Is this real? So
I know, right?
I say that in
right?
the context of a wrestling video.
Yeah.
So Bret Hart is being inducted to the Wrestling Hall of Fame.
Right.
And some dude comes out of the crowd apparently with like a Rastafarian hat on and tackles him.
Which you wouldn't think is possible. Of all events, a wrestling, like the security that would be around a ring, he's in the ring, right? And so some guy crashes through the ropes, gets past security, and gets to Bret and tackles him. And I thought the same thing, because they're like, he was arrested, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, is this just
There's
a
usually
setup for
very
something?
obvious tells on if something's... And I didn't actually haven't seen the videos. I heard about
Take
it.
a look, Easus, and tell us if you see some tells.
Here's the thing. There's a lot of videos that are out because they don't have really good, camera footage of this. It's all, people that were there filmed it. So depending on which one you watch, This I think is the best one we could find, where you see security get a hold of him, and there's some haymakers thrown.
So there's two that I think there's two depending on if you watch them both. But there's this one is like just the actual event, blah blah blah, and it's like you said, I think it's the best version out there. And there's one that shows him getting.
Can you close that thing on the right side?
Well, yeah, when I make this big, I will.
Okay.
Here, let me.
Like now.
Yeah. If it's like, I know.
What?
I don't know. I don't know what just happened here.
That's got to be the video playing somewhere.
Yeah. Okay. Give
right.
me a second. I don't know what happened. So.
Yeah, boy.
Well, speaking of daughters of famous wrestlers, he's apparently standing next to the Jim the Anvil Neidhart's daughter.
Yeah.
And you mentioned the daughter of Ric Flair earlier today. Like, is everybody's daughter involved in this shit? What's the deal with that?
I don't know anything about that. Fuck, dude.
Well, I guess Brett is in the Hall of Fame. This is his second induction. So he's going in.
It's part of the Hart Foundation?
Exactly. So he's going in with Neidhart.
Okay.
Whose
so
daughter
Anvil's
was there.
Daughter. Okay.
Right. And Owen was part of that too, right?
Yes.
Who wasn't able to be there last night. As we said, he fell 78 feet in a pay-per-view live event.
They would have had to exhume him.
Was that real? Or was is that a bit we're going to we're finally going to find out one day soon, like, holy shit, like the Undertaker or something, he rises from the dead.
No.
Wouldn't that be the greatest stunt in wrestling history?
It's too long, man.
Yeah. It's only been 20 years.
Just give me I gotta reload this fucking thing. I don't know what's happening.
Maybe, why don't you do a couple of emails, Jay, because we're running out of time anyways.
Hey, before I get to that, if you've suffered a traumatic accident or injury, don't call the Billboard or TV attorneys. Your first call should be to Ogden Legal Triage. Ogden Legal Triage will find you the right personal injury attorney for your case at no cost to you. They will negotiate the best price and save you time, money, and hassle. Who better to find you a lawyer but a lawyer? Ogden Legal Triage. For more information, go to firstcalldetroit.com. We do have some email, Mike.
All right. Well, here, you do what you want. We can try. I think that this should be good.
Hit it, while you got it.
Okay. Come on. Just fucking play, man.
That's great.
Okay, I don't know what's going on with this. It's from Instagram or some shit, and I can't fucking.
So the dude is immediately tackled by a bunch of people.
Yeah, you know what?
I'll note they're mostly people in sequin jackets and old gold
wrestlers.
Pants and stuff.
E, can you get rid of that video in the corner?
No, I can't.
Why?
I don't know.
It's playing, and that will fuck up the video you're trying to play if you can't get rid of that. So, so what are you saying, Jay? I think those are other wrestlers, right?
Yeah, I know, but it's still totally questionable as to whether this is quote real, right? Anytime you have a bunch of wrestlers in a room,
but they wouldn't lie to you. I mean, they said he's 26 years old and he's facing charges.
Yeah.
I mean, what more do you want?
Yeah.
Try and play it, E, if it'll expand, and
I don't know what's going on, dude. It's being really fucking annoying right now.
Yeah, I have a feeling it has to do with it. Well, forget it. Just go ahead, Jay.
But Jay, when you say like
to my point,
to your point, I'm not trying to not say it. I don't know why I'm stumbling on that. But when you say like the tells of something, whether it's real or not, there's just if you watch, there's a very obvious what a real New York State cop looks like and what it looks like if it's like
that's what I'm saying. A bunch of dudes in sequin jackets gathered around.
You know what? I didn't see it, so I just can't make the statement.
I would imagine isn't there usually two like. They've just, all of a sudden they've got 4 cameras where they need to be.
That's the other thing.
You know what I mean? It's not like reliant on crowd video.
And there's really no...
Unless that's done purposely so that it goes viral like it did,
I suppose. There's really no reason then in the Hall of Fame ceremony really just like there's no story. He's not a part of any storyline by any means in a while. So there's really... It's probably real. I mean, 90
Unless this starts a storyline.
Maybe,
there you go.
Maybe.
Look down the line a week, 2 weeks from now.
I would put it at 95% that this was a real...
I mean, what if this turned into a war between Bret Hart and the Anvil Neidhart's daughter because she didn't feel he protected her fast enough?
There you go.
I mean, none of those guys are wrestling right now.
And now those two, we've got a man-woman match.
My dad would have been ashamed of you.
Yes. He's probably rolling over in his grave right now, brother. And he's just going, woo!
I love it, man. If it was, I'd be okay with that. Storylines are what makes the wrestling work, so.
Yeah. She's like, listen here, you Hulkamaniacs. And then Brett is getting in the ring with her, there's a storyline here, somewhere in there.
Jay writes in, concerning excuses, gentlemen and E, I've noticed that in the past week or two, some of the people involved in the tales that you've regaled us with have offered up some amazing excuses for their behavior. We have, number one, thought it was my wife, so that's why I fucked a 3-year-old.
Oh, yeah, I remember that. He put a dildo in her ass, too, I believe. Something like that.
Yeah, that was just some asshole pedophile who was trying to explain himself.
Well, you know, I mean, he had a story and he believed it. I mean, his wife was blowing him, and then she got up midway through it to go to the bathroom.
3-year-old crawled in, little minx.
Yeah, started blowing him, too. Sure. I mean, what's he to do?
Number 2, I was passed out drunk and someone stole my car and murdered some bitch. Of course, that's the South Carolina Uber mistake.
Yeah, we don't know for sure what happened there yet. So
number 3, I was getting carjacked, so that's why I ran into little Daryl Hannah Holmes.
God, these are some amazing excuses in the last week.
Amazing, right? Says Jay. Which one is my favorite? I'm gonna go with I thought it was my wife. Just brilliant. Are there any I forgot? Let me know in the comment section below.
Would Jesse Smollett find its way in there? What was his?
He really haven't offered an excuse.
Well,
though.
he hasn't offered the Trump made me do it yet, but that's coming at some point.
Maybe even Joe Biden, as he had one. SNL had fun with him. They had Jason Sudeikis.
I like that.
Yeah, God, I love Sudeikis.
Yeah, he's good.
Did you see the shirt he was wearing at the close? It said like Jason, Kristen, who's the other? Who's the guy that from Barry? Bill.
Okay.
So, you know, it had all just their first 4 names, the 4 of them, and it's the
Bill
2005 cast that all started together on the same day. Dude, what a Jason Sudeikis, Bill Hader, Kristen Wiig.
Pretty big.
Yeah, I'd say.
Nice group.
And Adam Sandberg.
Oh, wow.
Or Andy Sandberg. Andy?
I know who you
meant. Yeah.
Dave writes in, Ladera Hannah Holmes. What up, fags? I'm willing to wager that you are mispronouncing Ladera Hannah Holmes' name.
Not a chance.
I think it's supposed to be Laderiana.
Ladera Hannah Holmes sounds way better.
Laderiana Holmes. You need to find some video of the parents talking about their daughter's tackle ball dreams and how she tries to take out out-of-control cars for practice to know for sure. That's all, Dave.
Yeah.
I started when you read that about her parents talking about tackle ball dreams, for a split second, I was like, is there video out here that we missed? But then he got into, the end of that. Yeah.
Bing it. Chris writes in, grievance found, and this is so short I'm not going to put him to the clock. But
okay.
Hi, Jay and friends. Here's the random grievance that I stumbled upon recently. I can't stand the buh that people say when they're saying bye. What's the point of the buh? And it's totally in line with E's thank you to someone God blessing a sneezer. That's it. No pussy old mans either. The studio sounds great, by the way. Cheers, Chris.
Bye-bye.
I think the buh, it's like it buffers the suddenness of the bye.
Yeah, perhaps. It's
Do you guys
also
just say
good.
Bye and walk out. Bye.
No, I usually say like see ya.
Yeah.
See ya. Or,
Take care. We'll see ya.
All right, I'm out.
Peace,
Right.
Holmes.
So I think people that are just using bye need something to buffer. And so
And
they
if you
go,
said all right, I'm
"Bye."
out, you would not just probably say I'm out. You'd probably be like, all right, I'm out, right? You'd have to say something.
It depends. If I'm talking to a senior citizen, always, without fail, I'll say, all right, peace out, Holmes. I do that with senior citizens, whether they're on the phone or in person. That just tickles me and makes me laugh. All right, peace, Holmes. To do that to a 90-year-old man is great. But bye, if it depends how you use it. If you're going, all right, bye-bye, to someone like fuck off, but you can't say fuck off, you're like, bye-bye. But I don't know if I'm always like, okay, talk to you later. Bye. I don't do that. And I don't do bye-bye either. I think
I do bye-bye every now and then.
Like, just like to me or E,
bye-bye.
you would do that?
I don't know. I'm gonna go pussy old man personally.
You're using it differently though. You're not saying okay, bye-bye, like normally you're going bye-bye. Bye-bye. You know what I mean?
Bye-bye.
Okay, bye-bye. This conversation, bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Yeah, I'm not saying it. I'm not saying it seriously.
So he's obviously a pussy and an old man for worrying about this because I don't think it's a real thing.
I think it is, man. I think people really do that.
Really?
Bye-bye.
Probably.
Bye-bye.
But
it is weird. I mean, I give it to Dave. He has pointed something out, or Chris, sorry.
Yeah.
It is an odd, it's something odd that he's observed.
See, there's such different.
Bye.
What he's saying is if that's seriously your end of conversation exchange is bye-bye, bye-bye, then I'm willing to listen to him. But if it's like bye-bye, bye-bye.
Interesting you just said bye-bye. Why do people say bye-bye?
Well, they're just doubling up on the bye.
Is ba better than bye?
It's no different than the ba, because the bye is just so quick.
I think the ba has taken over for the first bye.
Well, obviously that's the point of it. But if you want to change it up, mix things up a little bit, why
so
wouldn't?
Is this really infantile? Bye-bye, bye-bye,
bye-bye,
and it's turned into bye-bye. Nobody should say bye-bye.
Wait, how do you spell
stupid.
bye-bye?
B-U-H-B-Y-E.
I was just thinking, I'm like, wait, I don't think I've ever written bye-bye.
Right. Because you don't.
Okay, bye, B-Y-E, or B-U-Y, excuse me. Goodbye, B-U-Y. Bye-bye. How do you write bye-bye?
I don't.
Is it like Dubai, but with just a B?
No, I think it's B-U-H space B-Y-E. Bye.
Why wouldn't it be like Dubai? Bye-bye.
Maybe.
Boy, oh boy. You know what? This guy's. There's a lot of questions that remain in this topic.
It's such a simple.
I'm going to reserve my statement.
And see, that's why I don't call him pussy old man necessarily, because it is an observation, and he's not the first to observe it. Obviously, speaking of SNL, they did the whole big, the stewardesses, the sky waiters and waitresses. Bye.
Dave.
David. That was years ago, but for Chris to rehash this, I think it's warranted.
Yeah.
Bring it to our attention.
David Spade, yeah. You're not supposed to call him Eddie.
Really?
Yeah, it's racist, dude. You're not supposed to call people that.
Oh.
But yeah, I'm going to reserve. I need to look more into that. Bye-bye and see what I can figure out. I'm going to call him irritating at this point. Okay. I'm going to declare him irritating.
Jesus.
I'm just going to go pussy old man.
Okay. Jessica writes in concerning Lionel Richie. Good afternoon, sir. So I too. So she puts so. Yeah. So I too like.
Dude, I've started to pay attention when I'm sending text, or I used to do Facebook posts a lot saying so and then into
something. Why are you saying so?
I stopped doing it. I'm trying to anyway.
Good afternoon, sir. I too like Mr. Richie. I've deleted the so, and he has an album I absolutely love. It's called Tuskegee. It's his hits with country music singers. Lionel Richie with country music singers.
What?
I can't remember if you like country or not. So if you don't, maybe it won't be something you like. But check it out. I'm only just now at the beginning of this conversation. So if you guys mention this album, never mind to everything I just said. No, see, this is what I deal with.
Yeah, it's hard. It's not easy. We're all grateful that you tackle that.
Sorry, Jessica. Mr. Richie is not afraid to collaborate. I'll say that about him. When I went down that rabbit hole with him a couple of weeks ago, Diana Ross, Bette Midler, or was it Barbra Streisand? I can't remember.
Yeah, I can't
Shania
remember.
Twain.
Sure.
He's not afraid.
I recently started watching old Lionel on he's a judge with Katy Perry and someone on American Idol.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yeah. I mean, the guy just looks spectacular.
Doesn't he look great?
He looks fantastic.
He looks better than he did back in the 80s.
I think his head has gotten a little bit bigger. At least when compared to Katy Perry's head, it looks like it's coming into the way of the Clay head from the Hello video. A little bit.
Could it be HGH?
Maybe.
Barry Bonds going on?
Yeah, maybe. But, dude, I'm so happy for Lionel because he is so thrilled and rock fucking hard that there's a kid, Alejandro, on this season who's self-taught on the guitar and singing and piano. And it's like, so who are your influences? And he's like, Bach, Bates. This dude is a fucking genius. He's brilliant. And Lionel is just thanking him for being in the same room. And it's like, I feel sorry for the other contestants of the show. It's like, oh, you didn't realize in week 1 that it was over. This contest is fucking
really? It's
over.
This kid Lionel or whatever? Or what's his name?
Alejandro. You should go watch the videos, dude. It's hilarious.
There he is on
when you throw his face up against Katy Perry, sure looks big, doesn't it? But he looks like $1 million compared to the 80s.
When you know that he's 98 years old or whatever he is. Did you see Mike Massey, what he dropped the other day? I mean, dude.
Hello.
Do you want to play a quick second of that, E?
Is it just this one right here, this Lionel
He's got a video.
Cover?
Yeah, he just released this. By the way, he'll be August 9th. He'll be August 9th. I know they keep doing these fucking ads now on Facebook. You know, we need to pay for the YouTube so we can get rid of these ads, dude. It's killing us. I don't know how much that is a month. $5 or something. We should do it. But yeah, he's going to be at the Arc in Ann Arbor August 9th. And he just dropped this the other day and sent it to us. Usually when I hear Massey do these, I'm like, Massey's better than the original. You still can't touch Lionel Richie, though.
No.
You know what I mean?
You can't.
Lionel's in a league of his own. He really, really is.
Get to the kind of...
No, he was just about to start singing, E.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
He's having trouble with
Make
the
those
big machine
decisions on your own? What's the matter with you?
And in my dreams I've kissed your lips
1,000 times. You need that powerful, sultry.
I see you pass
Outside my door. You need that Lionel richness, don't you?
Hello,
Voice of an angel.
Oh, stunning.
is it me you're looking for?
Too much for.
Yeah,
White guy
too much
for.
White guy for.
Is it me you're looking for?
F-O-R-E almost.
You roll
I've ever wanted. What?
My arms are open wide.
Was that gay?
'Cause you know just what to say. And you know just what to do.
Is he becoming more ginger as time goes on?
And I want to tell you.
He appears gingered up proper in this video, does he not?
I love you.
Lovely.
That's great, isn't it? And the second guitarist, this part is necessary.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, without that, God,
no, you listen to the original, and there's great guitar work.
Oh, spectacular! Lionel would have it no other way. Of course not. I'm gonna go and to Spotify today. I'm going greatest hits at least.
You will be amazed.
I know. Well, when I read that stat about like he's the only artist with like 25 years in a row with like a top 10 single or something, it was like what?
Yeah.
Or 10 straight years with a #1 hit.
He doesn't get the credit he deserves.
No, it's a shame. It's a damn shame.
Gentlemen, we will save the rest for tomorrow.
Sounds good. Easus, take notes. Party goers,
that's their job.
take
I
notes.
think it's their job to take notes, man. I think I just have to sit there and get drunk and
party goers take video.
Yes, videos. Are you gonna get shit faced at the house? You have to.
I'm gonna drink. So
good. Your mom. What are you gonna do? Like hide from your mom?
I was actually shocked. My mom actually said like. She was out like gonna, like I said, we're gonna get the carry out or whatever, and she was actually like, Dad made a point. Do you have a beer or wine? And I'm like, so she actually referenced that I should have beer or wine. So I said, yeah.
Wine.
I know. I told
Jesus is gonna go out and buy wine.
I'd buy box wine if I got it.
Can you imagine E with those gums with just the red fucking port wine stain all over his teeth and gums all night? Yeah.
No, we just got beer though. But the point is, she referenced it. She's like, you got to have beer.
Well, give him the full Big E. All right.
I will.
Give him the full experience.
Yeah, absolutely. And I've been working Fran hard, man. She's coming around. She's starting to accept you for who you are. And if you get a little shit-faced here and there,
right,
I think it'll be fine.
Sure.
Well, have fun tonight, E. Thanks, everybody, for joining us. We will be back tomorrow, and hopefully you'll join us then.
You've been listening to the Detroit Cast with your hosts, Mike and Jay. From all of us at Radio for One Studios, thank you for listening. And as always, thank you, Detroit.